Greetings and salutations, YouTubers. This is ZillaFan85 back today with my latest video, my latest figure review. Today we're going to go ahead and take a look at my NECA 1962 Godzilla. So this figure was released a couple years ago by NECA, obviously when they still had the licensing to produce Godzilla figures. To me personally, this is one of, if not the best of the NECA Godzillas. I think they really did an awesome job with it. Very, very happy to have it in my collection. Comparatively looking, I don't have the Monster Arts version of the 62 Godzilla. But looking at them both, they're both really well done. I would probably say the Monster Arts one is your better bet, honestly. But then again, Monster Arts is usually going to be the case anyway. But definitely don't sleep on this one, because this is really a great rendition of the 62 Godzilla. So, at least in my opinion anyway. So, we'll go ahead and jump into it here. The 1962 Godzilla design, for me personally, it's not one of my particular favorites. So, another reason why I kind of went the less expensive route to get the NECA version instead of the Monster Arts. But that's just for me personally. I mean, definitely a very iconic Godzilla design. I don't know, I just didn't care for some of the features of this Godzilla, but again, that's just me. I know this is a popular design. I always well preferred the 64 Mosu Goji over the King Goji figure, or the King Goji design, I should say. But, still nonetheless, obviously from the iconic film of 1962, King Kong vs. Godzilla, which that is definitely among my favorite Godzilla films of all time. It's in my, top 10 Godzilla films for sure. Absolutely love it. And so having said that, let's go ahead and jump into this figure review. So we'll actually go ahead and start with the box art. I don't have the boxes for any of these figures anymore, for the NECA figures anyway. It's just, with trying to save some space and whatnot, I didn't want to keep them because they are kind of bulky. But I did keep the box art of them, so we'll actually take a look at that first here. Really awesome box art here. The King Kong versus Godzilla setup there. Very beautifully done. I really appreciate this here. All the scripturing again. Got the King Kong versus Godzilla right there. Just really awesome. There's the inside part of the box anyways, with the figure itself, with that little background setup. I definitely like that. It was a nice little money shot there. But this poster art, very beautiful. Really love it. And of course I also kept the backdrop of the box as well, which is a nice photo of Mount Fuji there, so you guys can see. Very nice little backdrop there. And so good if you want to do some photo ops with this and have some different setups there with that backdrop. So nothing on the back, just cardboard. But anyway, so that's the stuff that I kept from these NECA boxes for any of the NECA. I have a few NECA Godzilla figures in my collection, so that's what I kept: the front box art and of course the inside insert. So that's just what I ended up doing. Like I said, just for saving some space, I didn't really want to keep the boxes. I do have some of the other NECA boxes for some of their horror figures and this and that, but for the Godzilla ones, I decided just to go that route. And then otherwise, this guy does come with an accessory. You got a nice beam effect right there. Nice atomic breath effect. Really nice sculpturing on it. It's got this nice, sort of puffy design here. Very rough texturing on it. Really feels good. It's done in this sort of almost milky white color. It's not really translucent, I wouldn't say. But it looks pretty cool nonetheless. I'm not really sure why they didn't go with a blue color, why they went with this sort of milky, smoky white color. A little bit of an odd choice, but still though really nice sculpturing on it. Like I said, I really like all the smoky effects and whatnot of it. Yeah, really looks cool the way they painted it and sculpted it. So, and then of course how you use it is it actually is just an insert, whereas like with SH Monster Arts figures, when they have beam effects, it usually will have a hole insert on there, and it'll use one of their usually one of their support arms and then a base, and it'll hook, and then you just kind of kind of mess with the mouth to position it in place like that for their beam effects. But for NECAs, they actually have an insert on the inside of the mouth. If you guys can see that here, trying to make sure the jaw is open enough so you guys can see. And then you just line it up and plug it in. Plug it in, plug it in. And that's all you do. Very cool. And it fits in perfectly, nice and snug, and works perfectly. Sorry about that. Right. So I'm using the stand today for my camera, but wish this thing was weighted a little bit better. Anyways, though, folks, so let's go ahead, though, and jump into the figure itself here. And we're going to start with the paint and the detail work. So, the paint and the sculpt here. Again, to me, this really does a very good job of capturing the 1962 Godzilla's design. So you got, again, the the charcoalish, that gray, that charcoalish grayish color, that signature of Godzilla's skin tone there. There's a little bit of a sort of greenish highlight in this one, though, which is, I don't know, it's a little bit odd. I can't really recall if that's truly movie accurate or not, but you can definitely tell it's got a bit of a greenish highlight over that charcoalish color. But it still looks a little, it still looks really good nonetheless, I should say. The eyes really captured well. You got those yellow eyes with the black pupils in them. Really looks good there. You got the nice texturing scaliness and the bumps on the top of his head there, the eyebrows there. Nice elongated snout, which was signature of this Godzilla's design. It probably should be a little bit longer than this, but still done pretty well nonetheless. There's the nostrils etched in pretty well there, all the scaliness around the face. Here you've got the teeth in this sort of nice, sort of like a tannish bone color. That's done for the teeth, and then you, of course, got the red for the inside of the mouth and the tongue there. And again, you got that opening where the beam effect inserts. Here it really looks good. Again, all the scaliness and grooves along the body. Here really looks good. All along the arms here, on the hands. Again, that tannish bone color. Very nice sharp claws there as well. Really looks good. And of course you got that same tan bone color for the toe claws there as well. And they're really nice and sharp. Really look good. All the scaliness along the legs there. Nice thick legs that this Godzilla has there. And you can almost see a sort of like almost a little bit of a beige wash done along him as well. I don't know if it's trying to make him look dirty or what that is there. But you can see that a little bit on like the chest, neck and chest and abdomen. Some of the other spots on him as well. Looks really good. All the segments for the tail. Really captured well there. And of course you got the dorsal spines here, which they did a very good job. You got this sort of like an off-white color for the outer parts of the dorsal spines, and of course that runs from the larger ones all the way down into the smaller ones on the tail, that sort of off-white color off-white bone color looking looking pattern there. And then of course the inner parts of the dorsal spines with that charcoalish color there, as you guys can see, and a pretty nice job of it blending into the white, or the the off-white, whatever you want to call it, there for the outer parts of the spines. So I really appreciate that. It's one thing in NECA's later latter Godzilla figures during their run, they did a much better job with the dorsal spines in my opinion. So again, you guys can see all that there. So really nice look around him. There's the bottom of the feet, nothing on there, but well, you do have some legal information there for NECA. I don't know how well that's going to pick up with the camera, but you can sort of see it there. There we go. The camera just focuses in for me. So it does like an autofocus, so I don't really have the control over that, so I apologize. You got some peg holes here, but this way he's going to stand, you're not really going to need them at all. But just another, good look all around this guy. Again, really captures that 62 design very well, I think. He's a nice thick boy, as it were. So, but that pretty much sums it up for the paint and detail work. So the next thing we're going to look at is the articulation. Of course, NECA, these figures are super articulated, of course. Are you going to get the range on these guys that you'll get for, say an SH Monster Arts? No. But again, SH Monster Arts is in a league of its own. However, you do get a really nice amount here, at least for what you can pull off. He is very stiff when he comes out of the packaging as well. I believe from this part down on the tail has a, I think from like right here down, it, is a separate piece, and then you have to pop it into place there on the ball peg that it's on. Now the thing with that is, and it even has little instructions that you got to heat up the joint. They suggest, dipping that end of the tail into hot water, leaving it there for a little bit, and then take it out so that it's that the plastic material is malleable enough so that you can insert it. So you can do that. You can also use a blow dryer, and I would also recommend using a blow dryer on the rest of them as well, just to heat up the joints so that you can move them, because if you don't, one of the signature things with NECA is their joints do have a tendency to break if they're really stiff, out of the package. So that's one thing to always note, and in any of my future NECA videos, I'll always try to point that out as well. Nonetheless, though, let's go ahead and jump into the articulation here. So as you guys already kind of saw, starting with the jaw, it's on a hinge, so you can close it pretty much all the way. Open it a nice amount there. Really cool. You got where the head connects into the neck, you got a ball joint here, so you can look up like that. You can look down, and you can turn him, and it will spin 360. Very cool. And then, of course, where the base of the neck connects into the shoulder area, you've got another ball joint, which gives you added range of movement there. So you can get him to look further up, again, to look down a little bit. And, of course, you can turn it, and yes, it will spin 360 as well. So you guys can see that there. For the arms, they're on a swivel hinge combo here. So you can turn it like that. Pretty much get it to go all the way around. Just it's going to rub up against the legs, so I would be mindful of that. But they hinge outward. They could probably get a little bit better range in this. Mine's a little bit stiff. I don't usually mess with it too much. But you can get not really a T-pose, but you're gonna get a bit of range of movement out of that. There at the shoulders, the elbows, they're on a hinge, as you guys can see there. So you can get that and that, and Trying to make sure my camera stays stable. But anyway, so you got that again for the hinge at the elbow. The hands are on a swivel hinge combo, so you can spin them all the way around, as you guys can see there. Very, very nice. And of course you can hinge them like that. And then of course you got the hinge for the finger claws. So you can get him to close his fingers a little bit. Probably not all the way, but you can get him to close and open up. So that, to me, that's always a nice touch. Monster Arts actually doesn't have that hinge on the fingers. So that's a cool thing. NECA always does. Then next you've got the ball joint here for the waist. So you can get him to turn like that. Not too much really, like tilting wise. You can get a very, very slight ab crunch. Again, if the joint was a little bit looser, you might be able to get a little bit more than that, but it's very, very minimal at best with mine, as you can see here. So really, really, you're going to get the swivel at the waist, but, you know, it is there. So cool nonetheless. And then, of course, you got nice ball pegs here, where the legs connect into the body. So you can get them to go out. Again, mine's a bit stiff. You could probably do more than this, but get a very slight amount there. So you can go in and out. You can go pretty nice distance around. You can maybe get it to, you can maybe force that to go all the way around, but I wouldn't really risk trying that there with the legs. You're going to get a hinge at the knee here. I believe it's just a single bend, but it gets a decent range of movement. Again, it's Godzilla, so how much range of movement are you really going to expect? So, let's see the hinge there at the knee, and then so you can get a little bit of range of movement. You have a swivel here as well that you can pretty much get to spin all the way around. So that's pretty cool. And then of course you got a ball joint where the foot connects into the ankle here, the ankle. So you can get a bit of hinge. You can actually spin the foot, as you guys can see. Hinge and spin. And then of course you get a bit of ankle rocker motion as well. So you guys can see that. So very, very cool. So nice, decent amount of motion there. And then of course one of the, as everybody notes, one of the best points of articulation on this guy is the tail, because you've got multiple ball jointed segments throughout the tail. And it pretty much ends right at here is the last ball joint up to the tip, which is, you know, not too much really. You know, it's kind of is it as much as a Monster Arts figure? No, but it's really, really good. Definitely one of the better articulated tails that NECA has released for their Godzilla figures. So you can move it there, move it there, move it there. Like I said, so you got range of motion. They'll spin all the way, any of these joints. You guys can see that there, and then of course there at the very end. So really, really you can get them in some very, very nice poses here. And it holds, these are nice sturdy ball joints, so they hold the poses very, very well. So really, really awesome there. Definitely love it. That's definitely probably my favorite point of articulation on this guy as well. So really, really awesome. So that pretty much covers that now for the articulation. Otherwise, for sizing, this guy is in roughly the 7-inch range. So I do have the Bandai 1962 King Kong figure in my collection. I've reviewed that guy a while ago, so I grabbed him for this here. So you can see there that size comparison. Now he is considered like, basically considered like an 8-inch figure. So he's obviously going to be kind of on the large size as you guys can see, pushing them back. So it's definitely not the greatest sizing, because he's a little bigger than Godzilla, and it's supposed to be the other way around. Godzilla's supposed to be a little bit larger than Kong. However, I still think you can make this work. I still think they look really good together. The Monster Art 62 Godzilla is smaller than him, so that would definitely be worse for sizing them together. So that's one thing to note. They do have that Raymundo 1962 King Kong, which is smaller than this, which that setup may work better, but this is the one that I'm going with. Like I said, not perfect, but I still think it gets the job done. I like the way that they pair up together. So that covers that for sizing. And otherwise, as far as pricing goes, when this guy was released by NECA, you were definitely looking at the, he was in that sort of $25 to $30 range as standard for NECA figures. However, because, like I said, they've, as most of you note, they lost the licensing to produce Godzilla figures. Unfortunately, now these guys are becoming more and more rare. Sometimes you can find them in stores or in a comic book store or something and still get them for around the retail price. But if you're going to try to look online and whatnot, if you want to look on eBay or Amazon, or other places like that, be prepared to pay a above market price on these guys. I've seen them for I've seen this this particular incarnation of Godzilla for $70 and up nowadays. So like I said, just be prepared on that. But nonetheless, I think NECA really did an awesome job with the 1962 Godzilla figures. Out of the NECA Godzilla figures, this one is one of, if not my favorite. Now, I did say that about the 54 previously, but I've definitely changed my mind. I feel this guy is a better done figure. And honestly, too, for the 54, I personally like, I've since then I picked up the Monster Arts one. I prefer that, but that's a review for another day, of course. But again, though, if you're in the market, if you're a fan of the 1962 Godzilla, this is definitely a great way to go, folks. So I think that pretty much does take us to the end of the video. I would like to thank you so much for watching. If you would like to subscribe, please feel free to do so. If you would like to like and or comment on any of my videos, please feel free to do so as well. And just remember, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, you be good to yourselves, and sayonara.